In this video, I'm going to take some sunrise photos in Connecticut using a long exposure, shooting that beautiful fishing pier behind me. Let's get started. Well, I have got an interesting day ahead, I think. I am meeting a newly discovered cousin. Having done some research on Ancestry.com and investigating my family history, I have connected with a cousin, and we're meeting up in Connecticut at 9:30 this morning, so of course I got up much earlier than that, brought my camera. I'm going to do some photography along the Connecticut shore. One of my favorite spots in Milford, Connecticut. I'm parked, I think, illegally. Hopefully I don't get towed, and I'll be there in about 5 minutes, I think. Well, I made it down to Walnut Beach pier. You can see it behind me there. And in the summer, the sunrise is not a fantastic alignment with this pier, but I still think we're going to get a nice, colorful sky. I've got my wide-angle lens, my 16-35, to try to capture this whole pier in one shot, and luckily it is high tide. Otherwise there's a lot of rocks in the foreground here, and I can avoid that. I get a nice clean shot at high tide. Well, because that sky is a little brighter than this foreground, I am going to use a neutral density filter. It's a hard grad 3-stop ND filter, and that will darken the sky a bit, allow me to balance out this scene. It will also allow for a somewhat longer exposure so I can smooth out that water a little bit. Well, I was hoping for some clouds this morning just to pick up some of that color. Really not getting much. I'm getting, I guess, some alpenglow, some of that morning color for on a clear sky, but it's always a pretty peaceful place to be anyway. I am going for a very long exposure now. I put in another filter, this time a 10-stop ND filter, and that really darkens the scene. And that allows for the shutter to stay open for minutes at a time. So I've set my timer on my phone for 2 minutes. It's gonna be trial and error, I think. And what that will do is really smooth out that water. It'll be like glass, and that reflection of the pier will also be a little bit sharper too. Well, it is now sunrise. You can see the sun trying to sneak over the hill over there. There are some clouds on the horizon, but it's gonna get pretty bright pretty quickly. So I've got a long exposure going now, and I think I'll catch kind of in the corner of the frame the sunrise with the rest of the pier if I can execute this. We'll see. Well, the sun has risen. I think I got a decent shot with the sun just sneaking over the horizon, but now that sun's pretty bright. So I'm gonna walk to the other side of the pier and get a shot with the sun hitting the pier. The sky behind it won't be that interesting, but I could always do it black and white and have some nice maybe contrast between the pier and the sky and the water. We'll see how it looks, but it's a beautiful morning. Well, the sun is really hitting this pier head on, and so it's lighting up pretty nicely. It's a decent contrast between the pier and the sky back there. So we'll see how I process it. Might be good in color and in black and white. Maybe I'll put them up both ways and let you guys decide what you like better. But I'm not sure I like this side or the other side better. I guess if I had a great sunrise facing the other way would be kind of cool, but I'll take anything. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. I've got to move on, meet my cousin. Some of you may have noticed I haven't done a video in a while, and that is because I moved. I had been building a house in Connecticut for the past almost 3.5 years, and it is finally done. We moved in. As part of the house, I do have a photo studio. It's above the garage, so one of the upcoming videos I'll give you a tour of my new photo studio. But hey, if you like this video, it does help the channel just to give me a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, landscape, architecture, long exposure, fine art, make sure you follow the channel, subscribe, so you don't miss future videos. And until next time.